Pop quiz. Are you an Immanuelist or a Freudian? For a philosopher or a psychologist? Did you believe that the self is not in the body, or it could be explained by an analogy of an iceberg?
Do you think that self is transcendental, or do you see that the notion of self was an entity in itself, characterized as the subject of physical or mental actions and experiences?
Before you decide, let's take a journey down from the two philosophical perspectives of the self of Immanuel Kant and Sigmund Freud.
Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher during the Enlightenment era of the late 18th century. Kant was born in Königsberg in 1724 and died on February 12, 1804. His contributions to epistemology, ethics, and aesthetics had a significant impact on subsequent philosophy, particularly the various schools of Kantianism and idealism. In 1755, Immanuel Kant returned to the University of Königsberg to complete his doctorate of philosophy. In 1770, he became a full professor and taught metaphysics and logic at the university.
Sigmund Freud was born on May 6, 1856 and died on September 23, 1939. Freud is famous for inventing and developing the technique of psychoanalysis. He was awarded the Goethe Prize in 1930 for his contribution to psychology and German literary culture. In 1935, he was made an honorary foreign member of the British Royal Society of Medicine.
Immanuel Kant's philosophical explanation of the self is that it is transcendental, or the self is related to a spiritual and non-physical realm. The self is not in the body, but outside of the body. The self has two components, which are the inner self and the outer self. Based on his idea, the mind organizes our experience, mind constructs reality, and the self is a product of reason.
While in Sigmund Freud's major contribution to psychology was the development of psychoanalysis as a theory and approach. The fundamental principles of psychoanalysis is the belief that all people possess unconscious thoughts, feelings, desires, and memories. The aim of psychoanalysis therapy is to release repressed emotions and experiences. Example, make the unconscious conscious.
Freud developed strategies for interpreting the person's stream of spoken language. For example, an individual recalls her recent horrific experience while relaxing in a serene setting, and her thoughts are currently focused on something. Listening closely, Dr. Freud excavated the historical roots of this patient's emotional symptoms. Dr. Freud observed that the storyline generated by the ideas you may hear when paying close attention to your feelings and thoughts is the remnant of your life experiences that shaped the mind and physical habits that made you who you are now. However, your goal demonstrates how to become a master of listening to your inner dialogue during mind exercises. When you pay attention to the emotions and sensations that arise as a result of certain thoughts, experiences, or visions, you can see firsthand how instantly silence is turned into speech as it passes into your inner world. Your conscious and unconscious thoughts produce your emotional and physical experiences each moment.